everybody, my name is Askaroff and I write the Sewing Machine Pioneer series on Amazon, and I also write the On the Road series, which has been going for 30 odd years. Today I'm going to show you one of the absolute all-time great sewing machines, the Singer 99. Now the Singer 99, this is the Mock Croc 30s case, and this takes all the damage, so the cases could be scruffy, but inside is this beautiful little machine. And the 99 is the smaller, the little sister to the Singer 66, you know, the Singer Red Eye or the Lotus. And this machine is particularly lovely. This was made in 1939. Now this was made just at the outbreak of the Second World War. And of course Singers, this was made at the Kilbowie factory in Clydebank in Scotland. And 1939, November, a few weeks earlier, war is declared, war in Europe. And that war in Europe spread to the world and became a world war. But in 1939, it was still a European war. And of course, Singer was an American company. So Singers didn't really want to get involved. They were neutral. It was only after Hawaii that they got into the Second World War. So the government came up with a sneaky plan, because remember, Singers was by royal appointment, by royal approval. They didn't want to upset anybody, but they couldn't help with the war effort. So what happened were, for a short period, they were nationalised so that they could get on with helping with the war effort, because you've got to remember, it was one of the largest factories in the world. What they could make, all the factories were helping. And so Singers, this was one of the last of the 1930s, the special, the glorious 30s, where everybody say it's the pinnacle of quality in the world, was the 1930s. And this is when this little baby came out. And the people who made this, if you just look at the actual detail, if you just go around the machine and just look at the actual detail, it is just stunning. And this one has survived. You think, in a few years, this will be nearly 100 years old. And so what's it going to be worth? Who knows? But what I can tell you is, I know that this has been loved, because it's got all its little goodies in there. It's got all of, and in the side here, it's got even more little stuff. And underneath, this is so funny, underneath here, it's got a little bit of newspaper from 1960 something, and it's the Wishaw Press. Where on earth is Wishaw? And it's talking about problems, local problems, and obviously that's where the person who had this lived. But it's just an exceptional condition, and I've got it all serviced, ready to sell. And of course, the 99 came out around 1911. It was really what I believe the first perfect portable sewing machine, because the 66, its big brother, was incredibly heavy. The 99's heavy, but it was a lot lighter. And what it does, exactly the same system, what it does is a near perfect stitch. So good, in fact, that although this came out before the First World War, it never changed right up until the 1960s. They just added a little reverse stitch because you couldn't really change anything. But what I'm going to show you now is the actual, if you come around this way, you'll see the actual stitching of the machine. And this is lovely. I'll just tighten up because this is a hand machine, which I absolutely adore. And you're listening to the sound of the 1930s coming back to life. Absolute perfection in stitching. And of course, while you're down there, this has got the drop-in bobbin, so this is the easiest sewing machine on the planet to use, even by today's standards. Super easy threading. And I knew when I was servicing this, I knew straight away that this was a special machine, because I always check underneath to make sure there's no nails coming through. And when I turned it underneath, there was little felt pads. Someone has cut little leather pads and stuck them over the little bungs on the end, and I thought, oh, if they've taken that care. And you just think, what a beautiful machine. I'm just going to step in front of you there, and just when you look at that, you just think, wow, it doesn't really get any better than that. So how do you value a machine like this? All what you can say is, this cost an arm and a leg in 1939. I mean, by the end of the Second World War, Singer's had millions of back orders where they'd been making machine gun bullets and Mills bombs and you name it, sightings for aeroplanes, it did everything. So this was in such demand, and it cost, you would pay for this over years, not months, or you would actually pay this over 10 or 15 years. So what's it worth today? All I can tell you is that whatever it's worth, because it's immortal, because it's ageless, because it's nearly 100 years old and it still looks immaculate, what's it going to be worth in 200 years or 500 years or 1,000 years? All what we know is that this machine is just going to go like that, isn't it? So although you can't put a value on it, you can say it is the ultimate bit of quality. And I thought you might like to see that. Bye for now.